Well, tonight, the big question, should we, the taxpayers, be stumping up $500,000 to send to the Venice Biennale, the world's most prestigious contemporary arts festival, the work of an artist whose latest work is a toilet braying like a donkey? Ask yourself. Also tonight, the incredible story of the 3 children who survived on a deserted island the size of a rugby field for a week. And why won't a real estate agent hand back the deposit for a house that burnt down before the sale went through?
I got a phone call from my cousin on or about the 26th of January informing me that, well, you better not get any more money out here because the house is burnt down.
Good evening. I don't know, you go away for a week and you come back to work and straight away something's got you buggered. We, the taxpayers, are to pay, we're told we're going, this is what we're no questions about it, we are to pay around $500,000 to send to a very elegant international art exhibition as an unseen work, or that is to say we are sending an as yet unseen work by an artist whose latest work is a dunny that brays like a donkey. And what's more, the artist's name or names are to remain a secret. We don't know who she is or he is or they are. Anyway, here's the guts to start us off from Hayden Jones.
To the untrained eye, it looks like a toilet making donkey noises. But the experts will tell you something very different.
There's a maturity to what they're doing. But in the last 2 years, I have been so impressed.
The work itself it's very compelling.
You see, this is art. Very good art. The creator is et al. But who et al. Is remains a mystery. They go by many names, including Lionel Budd, Lillian Budd, Al Budd, P. Mule, Marlene Cubewell, Merritt Grotting, the Blanchy Ready-Made Trust, and Popular Productions.
So you call them by those names when you speak to them?
Absolutely, and and my colleagues do as well. Yeah.
Most believe et al. Is actually Marilyn Tweedy. Now she is going halfway around the world to represent New Zealand at the Venice Biennale. It's a taxpayer-funded trip costing $500,000, and we're spending the money on an artist no one actually knows, who's going to show the world not this or this, but something new, something yet to be created.
I've got to say that New Zealand art is peaking right now, and why do we really have to represent ourselves with a donkey shut in the dunny?
So, is it money well spent? Are our taxes going down the... Or is it just a case that we simply don't understand art like this?
No, possibly we don't. And officially, we've got no idea who the collective is. Collective, they call it, when it's a group of artists, it's a collective. So we don't know who the collective is or the artist is, though we know it's a woman called Marilyn Tweedy, as Hayden says, and she refuses to comment or be photographed. No problem about this, about refusing to be identified, says one Tina Barton from the Venice selection panel. To quote her, she says, this is from the Oliver Driver Arts program, she says, the very idea of the cult of the artist or the fascination with the name of the artist is a very historic specific category, she says, whatever that means. And, she says, since the beginning of the 20th century, artists have been keen to find ways round people's fascination with their identities. Please feel free to throw up. Tell that to Andy Warhol. Well, anybody. Anyway, nobody from the selection panel would front up on the program tonight. Not one of the people who made the selection to go to the Venice Biennale would front up for this program to justify that selection. But in Auckland, we've got a long-time art dealer, art specialist, John Gow. And in Wellington, we've got Peter Biggs. He oversees all of that kind of stuff. He's from Creative New Zealand. Who is this et al., Mr. Biggs?
Et al. Is a collective, Paul.
Well, we know it's not a... Stop right there. We know it's not a collective. We know it's this Marilyn Tweedy.
I'm showing respect to the artist, and what counts in this situation in terms of taking this piece of art to Venice is the art itself.
Why don't you show a bit of respect to the taxpayers who are paying the $500,000 to send it?
Paul, that's why I'm on the show, to explain to the taxpayers the context of Venice. Venice is the world's biggest cutting-edge contemporary art event. The work that was chosen for Venice by 7 eminent people in the visual arts area, we think will work extremely well to continue to position New Zealand as a creative and innovative country. We went there with Peter Robinson and Jackie Fraser 4 years ago. A couple of years ago we went there
Yeah, well,
with,
I'm not interested in those people. I'm asking you about this particular person.
Well,
now,
I'm trying to explain the context, Paul. Would you give me a chance to explain,
I'm not shouting
please?
at you, Peter.
You're talking over the top of me, Paul, and I'd like a chance to explain the context,
Well,
please.
you've been explaining what you've sent in the past, and I'm asking you who this et al is. You haven't even answered that apparently out of respect to the artist, who we are paying $500,000 to send to Venice. Who is representing us? Don't tell us it's some kind of collective when it's one person.
Would you give me a chance to speak?
You've got
please,
a chance.
Paul? Thank you very much.
Stop grandstanding.
I'm not grandstanding. I'd like to speak, please. Et al is a New Zealand artist at the top of their game, judged by 7 of the most eminent art people in New Zealand.
None of whom were prepared to come on the programme and talk about their selection. John Gow, what do you make of this person's art?
Paul, I have to say that over the years I've been fascinated by et al. As an artist. I do believe she's a very controversial choice to send to Venice.
Marilyn Tweedy, that's the person's
Marilyn
name?
Tweedy, that's right.
So that's nice. Thank you for being honest. All right. So you've been fascinated by her?
Yeah, I respect her as an artist. She's got a great track record of exhibiting over 20 years.
Is she cutting edge?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, the Venice Biennale, it may surprise you to know, Mr. Biggs and Mr. Gow, I have attended once the Venice Biennale, and it's full of oddballs. I mean, it's very odd stuff. It's new stuff, isn't it? So perhaps they have made the right choice in selecting the work of this person.
Well, I think they've made a choice which is going to stop people and make them look. I don't think they've made a choice which is actually going to stop people, make them look and think of New Zealand. And this is my point. I think, you could put a Ralph Hoteri installation with the Power Show collaborated with Bill Colbert, have something which is still cutting edge, but still actually speaks a little bit of New Zealand.
Yes, something that displays some of the intensity of the art being produced in this country at the moment.
We are a country that produces amazing art.
See, that is the criticism, Peter. It's this person's work appears to be unrepresentative. Doesn't say anything about this country. And you can say what you like about art not having to be anything to do with the country, but unfortunately, I'm sorry, we're paying the $500,000.
Paul, I think it does say something about this country, and it says something about this country in the context of Venice. What we want to do is showcase this country as leading edge creatively.
What, as a dunny with a brain, with a donkey in it?
Paul, the proposal put up by et al. And the curatorial team did not include that piece.
That is right, which brings me to the other matter. You have committed to an artist, yes, without knowing yet what the work will be or will look like. Is that true?
No, it's not. There's a 45-page proposal that won the selection criterion
the proposal.
case.
You've seen the proposal. What I'm saying to you is, what I'm saying to Mr. Biggs is it built yet? Is it done yet?
No,
have you seen the piece that's going?
It's not built, and there's a very good reason for it. There's a very good reason for it. Again, would you let me finish, please? There's a very good reason for it, because we haven't found a site in Venice. Each time we've been to Venice, we've had a different site. This time we're hoping that we'll get another very good site, and each work is designed for a specific site.
How good a site, though, do you need for a dunny with a donkey going off on it?
Well, that's not going, Paul.
The donkey's not going?
The donkey is not in the proposal.
So what is going? Is it large, is it small, is it brown, is it white? What is it?
What is going is a piece that will be a multimedia piece that suits the site, which we have yet to determine. When we've made the decision on the site, then a number of options which have been presented will be explored and then installed.
This is all fine. But the bottom line is, Peter Biggs, you spent money on, you've committed to spending money on what you don't know what it is yet.
Well, we do
Nobody
know
does
what it
that,
is.
not with our money.
We do know, Paul, what the elements will be in terms of the work.
What do you make of that, John Gow?
What do I make of it? Well, I can understand that it's installation work for a site-specific work, so therefore you can actually create something in the manner and style that you will know that et al. Is going to make for a site.
Yes, but et al. might have a breakdown. Indeed, the public pressure, the exposure, there might be a complete collapse of the artistic flow. It might be the worst thing.
I think the better thing, Paul, is actually seeing the nation debating this. How hot under the collar you are about it. The fact that Peter and I are here debating that which artist is going to the Venice Biennale. I mean, that is a fantastic thing for New Zealand.
So,
New Zealand
Mr.
has to be
Biggs,
invited to go there.
Yes, well, at least we're discussing it. Mr. Biggs, you may finish us off on this briefly, if you would, please. Please tell the New Zealand public, New Zealand people have come home from work today knowing that 30% of what they earn is going to the government and they just pour it into you, why those earnings should be committed to the work of an artist who doesn't want to speak about their art or have herself known, whose last work was a dunny brain like a donkey, and why that should go, or something like that should go to Venice to represent us.
Because this artist is at the top of their game. They've been at the top of their game for 20 years. They're going to do a work that will represent this country as creative and innovative, and we're thrilled about that.
I thank you, Mr. Biggs, very much for your time. And Mr. John Gow, thank you for yours. Still to come on the program, have we got a donkey? We haven't had a donkey noise for. Have we got a donkey noise? We had a donkey. Just remind us of what. There you go. Yeah, and there you go. That's that. You know, that is not going to Venice. As they walk about the place looking at some of the most cutting-edge art in the world, they will not be seeing from New Zealand a broken down dunny with a braying donkey. Still to come, a tale of survival. These 3 kids who swam for their lives to a deserted island in Torres Strait, and they lived on coconuts and oysters for 7 days until they were rescued.
Mother has said to them, please, you kids, swim to that rocky area there so at least someone in this family will survive.